Hi guys, welcome to the new video. If you are new, subscribe, upload every video, of course. I just finished watching House of Dragon Season 1 Episode 3 and I wanna share my thoughts, what I think about the episode. Without spoilers, it was good. Okay, the visuals, storytelling, the dialogue, everything is great. We got cool action scenes at the beginning and at the end. Everything is nice, okay? The acting, the cinematography, look at those shots. It looks beautiful. Everything looks fucking nice. The acting, everything. So, I'm gonna jump into the spoiler section. Basically, the episode starts with the time jump, and I don't know how often we're gonna have time jumps in this series because we got in the previous episode like something like 6 months, and in this episode we got something like 2 years or maybe 3 years. Basically, the episode starts with a cool action scene like the dragon just killing people, yes, with his fire on the beach, those crabs, yes, people. Basically, this Daemon character and there's another dude basically fighting those crabs people, and this is the action scene, yes, and it was great. Okay, we got cool practical effects like practical fire and looks nice. Okay, this is not CGI. Maybe in a couple of shots we got some CGI stuff, but basically those fire effects looks very nicely. Okay, because it's practical. So basically, like I said, we got some time jump, and the king just celebrate because he got son. Basically, yes, his wife just he got basically son, and the son has 2 years or something like that. And basically, with this young wife, yes, where is this chick? Whatever, you get it. You watch the episode. So this is very interesting. This books must be great, seriously, because the storytelling in this series is so great. It's like some good writing, if that makes sense. Yes, good storytelling. It's not that obvious. Of course, this is tropey stuff. Like, okay, the king has son, the king has the daughter, and who gonna be in charge? That kind of situation. But it's good. It's nicely done. So basically, he's celebrating, yes, this king, and this daughter don't basically is she's not on this celebrating room. She's just reading book, on the tree, and this new queen, yes, her friend basically just came to her and just say like, hey, come inside because the king wanna have you, blah blah blah. And she was listen to this kind of bard who's playing the song. You watch the episode, it was cool. It will be nicely to hear the whole song or whatever, but it's nice, it's cool. This is not Witcher, okay? This is House of Dragon. This is more serial stone than Witcher, okay? And I like this. So basically, there is that. This is the chick. And who is this guy? So basically, this is the shot character. The king just go, on some kind of in the woods to hunt the deer or whatever to celebrate his son, and he's taken, the daughter and the wife, and they just have talk, blah blah blah. And basically, the king is drinking too much wine, yes. You watch this stuff, and everyone just try to push some agenda to the king, and it's so nicely done, like, oh, maybe you're gonna marry me, because basically she's turned, I think, 17, yes, this main character right here, this chick. And the king is like, oh, you're gonna marry this dude, because some dude just came to the king and just say like, hey, I am this king of the land, blah blah blah, and I want to marry. Of course she don't want to marry as the king. It's very tropey, but it's nicely done. It's very serious tone, and I like some shows that have serious tone that basically don't play around, and it's done correctly, if that makes sense. Because you have couple of, I don't know, shows like they try to be serious but it's not done correctly, but this is done correctly. Okay, so basically she don't want to, of course, marry this dude. He basically gives some spear, yes, to the king and just say, hey, I want to marry your daughter, blah blah blah. And the king just say like, he's too pride. And she just say to the king like, hey, he's too pride, whatever. And the king just say, very good line, I'm sorry, like, it matches you because you are a pride too or whatever. So very nicely done. stuff, and basically she's just running away, yes, with this chat character, and I think they're gonna be together. This kind of knight, yes, right here. Where is this guy? Right here. This dude, right here. This dude, the princess just run away with the horse, and this knight just, who is protecting her, just, jump into the horse and just basically chasing her, yes, and just stop her. And they have some talk like, hey, the king just wanna marry me with this asshole, blah blah blah. And he was saying like, hey, do you want to kill me? To kill him? That was good line. And she was like laughing a little bit. So it's a good subtle humor. You know, this is not like, I don't know, She-Hulk, she's twerking or whatever. It's not this cringy stuff. It's like, do you want to kill him? To kill him? It's nicely done. It's, funny line. Like, we know he not gonna kill him, but it's nicely done. It's funny moment. So basically, they just, sitting on the fucking woods, and some deer, not deer, what is this fucking, whatever, some pig just attacks them, yes, and she just killed the pig, basically, yes. Because the knight was hurting the pig and he was falling down. You watch the episode, and she just killed the pig. And of course, she's gonna be in charge of the kingdom, and it's gonna remember that, like, oh, she is, not some kind of little princess, she can defend herself or whatever. So she basically just killed this fucking pig. And another stuff, like like I said, in this king situation, everyone just try to push their agenda to the fucking king. Like, oh, you should marry this guy, and another, guy just say, hey, you should marry this dude. And he basically, the king just, has some talk with this chick, and it was beautiful shot on this big fucking fire. Like, like the king was drunk, and he was saying like, hey, I was, give the power to this daughter, but I don't know if I do this correctly, blah blah blah. You watch the episode. So that's very nice. And basically the whole story is like, they just, basically it was a little bit brutal too. Of course the deer was CGI, but they just captured some CGI deer, and the king must basically, so stupid traditions, like in the previous years, of course, I don't know how many years, like 100,000 years, from uh, ago, basically they have, people have some stupid traditions though. So basically the king just take this spear, like this guy who wanna marry this, her his daughter, basically just take the spear and try to kill this deer. And it was CGI deer, of course, but it was effective scene. Like, oh, he is not happy to kill this deer, but he must to do this, basically, yes. Good dialogues, okay, good debates, good dialogues in this one, of course, yes. What king, basically, being a king is not a happy-go-lucky, okay. You basically are responsible for so many people, and it's not that simple, this is some politician game, and it's complicated stuff. So basically, of course, the queen, yes, this friend of her, of this chick, uh, her dad basically tried to push agenda to, like, hey, this son, yes, because she just give the birth to the son, and of course she's pregnant once again. You watch the episode. So he's pushing the agenda to, like, oh, this son must be basically the king, yes, of the round, because and she was like, oh, but she would be good queen. But this father was like, yeah, but this woman can't be basically in charge of this stuff. So it doesn't bother me, those kind of situations, like, oh, woman can do this, because it very fits this fucking era, if that makes sense, yes, fit this world. And for so many years, basically, women, you don't see, basically, we got in this our history, those kind of situation too. So it fits this fucking world. It doesn't beat me with the stick about basically this stuff, like, oh, woman can't do this, if that makes sense. It doesn't beat me from now. Okay. So basically, in this episode 3, So basically, they just came and they just have the dialogue with the father, like, hey, you, the king just tried to explain to her, like, hey, you must marry someone because you are basically age, and I wanted to be happy, to you, and that kind of situation. Fuck my English. You get it, the idea. Watch the episode. Like, the king wanted to have, you know, that she gonna have some family or whatever to be happy, yes, and she was like, but I don't want to need man, blah blah blah. I don't need to be happy, blah blah blah. This kind of no, she tells some good dialogues, and she basically tell like, oh, if you do and everything for the round, but you choose basically my friend over this 12 years daughter, yes, and the king just say like, yeah, you got a point. Okay, so you basically just marry, choose wisely, marry whatever you want, who you want. So it's nice, and basically this is the almost the whole episode, because we got this situation. I don't expect this, like, those scraps people, they are so fucking strong. Like, basically this Daemon character, or whatever his name is, this brother of the king, just losing this war, yes, and this black guy in white dreads basically is losing the war over the scraps, yes, and he got some dialogue with the wife, like, because the diamond just sent a letter or whatever, like they are losing, yes, right here on the beach, and it looks fucking great. Okay, look at the cinematography, looks amazing. Of course, they don't have budget like Lord of the Rings, but looks nice still. And basically, the king was debating like what I supposed to do, what message I'm gonna give if I'm gonna send the army, whatever. And the queen just say like, the wife of this king is good too. I feel like she gonna die. She gonna die, and of course the king gonna die too. And basically, this daughter and the children gonna fight over the throne. This is my prediction. So basically, the king decided to send some ships and some soldiers, yes, to this bitch, to this bitch, to fight those crabs people, yes. And we got some stuff with this Daemon and this another guys, yes, with the soldiers. Like, hey, we are losing. We must basically do this action, a very risky action. Who gonna risk? Who is that crazy? Who gonna risk this life? Yes, right here to basically those crabs people gonna get out of the fucking cave, and basically they're gonna everyone kills. So the Daemon just have the letter like, oh, the king just sent the fucking soldiers, and I wasn't expecting this reaction, but it's a good reaction, because basically shows like he's not happy. He was thinking like, I'm gonna win this war easily, and I'm gonna have power on this land or whatever, that kind of situation, but he don't win easily, and he's pissed off, and basically he just beat up the soldier, yes. That give him a letter like the king just sent him 100 ships or whatever, 2,000 people, to fight those crabs people. He's not happy about this, and basically he just go, and basically they just do this action, like they just go on the beach, and he is just surrender, with a white flag, like, I'm surrender. And the crab, guy just sent another crabs. He just, killed them, and he is basically just taking some shots, some arrows, and he basically is almost done. And the dragon just, uh, destroy all the crabs, not all the crabs, and those this black guy with the white dreads basically just sent the people too, and they just fighting those crabs. He just go to the cave, and basically he just cut half of this crab king, if that makes sense, and the episode ends. Good stuff. It's very tropey, like I said, like, oh, the princess don't want to marry, someone, but it's done realistically, if that makes sense. Yes, and they basically share a moment with this knight. She share a moment with this knight, so I think he gonna be important character to this story. So yeah, good stuff. This Daemon, it's complicated. I don't know what's gonna happen next. I feel like the people that gonna send basically that sent. I don't know. Seriously, The people who sent basically the king, I don't know, they're gonna be killed by those guys, by the dragon or what, I don't know what is gonna happen. But great stuff. 8 out of 10 I give, okay? It's not blew my mind, but it's still good storytelling. It's a little bit tropey, of course, like, oh, the princess, like I said, don't wanna marry a guy, but it done nicely. And I like this world. It's a very brutal world, if that makes sense. It's like I said, the king have some struggles. Like everyone wanna push some agenda, and he just tell this wife, yes, this like everyone try to push some fucking agenda, when he talks to me or whatever. And I like this wife of the king is not very bitchy, so it's good storytelling, if that makes sense. I'm interested in how the story gonna progress. Like I said, I feel like she, of course, gonna become the king, and they gonna fight with this son or whatever and another children. I don't know how much they gonna, like I said, how often they gonna make those time jumps, but it's a good stuff. Okay, we got good action scenes, like I said, with the dragon and with the flames. It's brutal. Basically, it was fucking brutal at the beginning. Like this guy was like, the crabs just eating him, and he was like, "Oh, my king Daemon," and just dragon just steps over him. It was brutal. 8 out of 10. Good stuff. I'm gonna check it out next episode, of course. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.